Alright, welcome back to week 4 of the PBA. I'm going against the Honchkrow. His team was Whimsicott, Gallade Mega, Hoopa Unbound, Entei, Azumarill, and Skuntank. And my team was King Boo, which is our Gengar, Breezy, our Gardevoir Mega, Hazard, our Crocodile, Fu, our Swallow, and Cora, our Suicune. Now this week was definitely an uphill battle, not only in the battle, but while I was doing the battle. I had a lot of issues with my mic and recording, so I'm going to try this post-commentary and see how we do. I've recorded like twice now, and I don't know if I really like it. We're going to see though. In the battle, I did have not a lot of prep time. I gave about an hour, which I've noticed that every time that I do a battle, I need some time to prepare, and which is shown with week 2 and now week 4, that I cannot just battle right after I prepare. I need to like look at my team, look at his team, make sure they have all grounds, covered. But I definitely didn't have all grounds covered in this match, and you'll see. And also I had everybody pretty much from the PBA, about 5 of our members in the actual game watching, so there was a lot of pressure, and I'm not good under pressure, but at the end I do kind of regain my composure and try to work through it. So let's go ahead and get into the battle. So he starts off with Whimsicott, which was definitely not prepared for, and I start with Crocodile. He's going to set up his Leech Seed, and I'm going to double out because Crocodile I just didn't think was a good idea in this part. So I go out to Swallow, and like I said, he sets up the Leech Seed. Now I had Toxic Orb on my Swallow, which really in the end I think hurt me more than helped me. So he goes for Protect, and I go for U-Turn, which doesn't do anything. And I eat the Toxic Orb and also the Leech Seed damage, which really hurt me. So he's gonna go out because he can't double Protect, and I'm gonna just go for U-Turn here, thinking, okay, now I can get out and go back in with something to, go against his Azumarill that he brings out. So I'm thinking, okay, Gengar can outspeed at this point. I have Thunderbolt. I can just go for a Thunderbolt and get his Azumarill out. But actually, he goes into his Skuntank, and I go, like I said, for Thunderbolt, which does some decent damage, 41%. And I'm thinking, okay, so what can I do? Not much with Gengar. So I'm going to switch out. And I'm going to go ahead and go into Sydney, our Gastrodon. So he's going to set up a taunt, which I'm not sure why he set up a taunt on that one. I wasn't for sure. But I'm going to go just for Earthquake on this, and he's going to go for Poison Jab. In which Earthquake Okos. So he's going to go down with his Skuntank, and that's our first kill. So I'm sitting here like, okay, we're doing pretty good, even with my first, mistake of putting Crook instead of Swallow in the beginning. So he's going to go back out to his Whimsicott, in which I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here. And so I go into our Swallow thinking, okay, so now what can he really do? He's going to set up the Leech Seed, and I'm going to go ahead and not do anything this turn because I just went out. So then again, he does a Protect, Leech Seed, Toxic Orb. It all gets me, and I'm down to like no health at all. And I'm thinking, okay, so I can't even take anything from anybody in that, so I need to just stack off Swallow. There's nothing else I can do. I'm going to just go for Brave Bird, get off some damage on whoever comes in. So Entei does come in, and he eats up the Brave Bird pretty well. We did 58%, which isn't bad damage, but I still was like, oh, there's nothing I can do against this Entei right now. So I'm like, I'm going to go back into Sydney and, take any type of hit that comes out. He's going to Willow me, which I'm okay with. It's not a big deal. And I'm just going to go for Earthquake and get damage off, which does 33%, which isn't bad for, Sydney. I built physically defensive this time instead of specially, which I do sometimes. And he's going to go out to his Azumarill because he sees the damage he can't take anymore. He's going to save that for later. I'm going to go for Earthquake again because there's nothing I can really do against this Azumarill with Sydney. I'm going to take that burn damage, and I'm like, I'm going to get out of here. And we're going to go into our Gengar again because, like I said, Thunderbolt. But he does carry knockoff, and which totally, you know, takes us out. So I'm sitting here like, okay, that's not good, because I planned for Gengar to be for Mega Gallade, which he doesn't even get to see Mega Gallade, and also that Hoop Unbound. But I'm going to go out to Gardevoir, and he's going to go out to his Cotton, and he's going to go out to Whimsicott. So I'm just going to sit here, and I'm like, okay, Shadow Ball or Hyper Voice, which one should I do? And I go for Shadow Ball, thinking, okay, it's going to do more damage, but I should have went for Hyper Voice, which you'll see later on is what I go for, and it does do a lot more damage than I thought. So he's going to set up the Leech Seed, and, you know, of course, I'm going to go for Shadow Ball again. Should have just went for the Hyper Voice. If I would have done both, his Whimsicott would have been down, but I didn't. Foresight is 20/20, so I'm going to go out because I know Gardevoir can't take any more damage or any life out of it. So I got to Crook. He taunts me, I'm not sure why. Maybe he was predicting Stealth Rocks, I'm not for sure. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, why did I even go out to Crook? I started out with Crook against the Whimsicott, why did I do that? So I'm going to go back out. He's going to go out to Azumarill, and I'm going to go out to our Gardevoir again, because that's the only thing I can really do. So he's going to double out, back out to his Whimsicott, and I'm just going to go for Hyper Voice this time and look at the damage. I should have just done that in the beginning. I would have had this Whimsicott down. But, you know, nothing I can do. So I'm just like, okay, get Leech Seed again, but I'm just going to Hyper Voice again, take this thing out. It's been, like, harassing my team for the beginning. So now I'm thinking, okay, we're pretty good now. I think we're going to be okay. Just going to go out to Azumarill, and I'm going to sit here and Hyper Voice because he said it's doing the damage. It's putting in the work. He's got Ice Punch, which I'm not sure why he went for. It didn't do that much damage. But he's going to get the Leech Seed, damage. And I'm going to sit here and I'm like, okay, still need Gardevoir. Like, I'm not going to let him go down yet. So I go out to our Suicune, thinking maybe he'll go for, you know, Scold or that. But then I noticed that he is banded. And that's not what I was expecting. So he's going to go out. I'm not sure why, but he goes out to his Hoopa Unbound. And I'm going to set up a Calm Mind because at this time I'm thinking, okay, there's nothing really I can do. Oh, I know why. He goes out because he's banded, duh. So then he's going to go for Thunder Punch, and I'm just going to go for, I think, a Roar to get him out, because there's no sense at this point sitting here with this Hoopa Unbound who's going to Thunder Punch me. So I'm like, okay, Gallade, I could probably take some hits from it. Let's go ahead and just sit in. You know, I'm up pretty high. I'm going to Toxic it. Like I said, I'll probably take 1 hit, 2 hits. Might as well get the Toxic off. He goes for Knockoff, knocks off my leftovers, which was sad because it could have helped me in the end. The Toxic's going to whittle down his life, and that's what I wanted really for a Suicune during this. He goes for a Bulk Up, and I'm just going to go for a Scold here. Just getting damage. Damage means, you know, something at least. And he's going to take the Toxic damage, so that'll help me later on. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to take me out, which he does with Psycho Cut. So then I'm thinking, okay, I only have 3 months left, what am I going to do? He's at 31% life, so I'm going to go out to Crook, get that attack down. So if something comes in, it can take a hit. Hopefully. He goes for Drain Punch, which I expected, and I go down. But I just wanted that Intimidate drop because I knew that if Gardevoir comes in, or, you know, I get Gastrodon in, it'll actually take a hit without, like, really taking a hit. So I go out to Gardevoir, and I'm sitting here like, okay, he's just going to stay in, let me take it down. Go for Hyper Voice. And down goes the Gallade. So then he's going to bring in his Entei. And I know it has extreme speed, so I'm like, I'm going to get out of here. There's no sense in letting Gardevoir go down. I can still, you know, do some work. And then bring out Gastrodon. Now I'm sitting here like, okay, probably, you know, take a couple hits. Let's do some recovery. Let's do, you know, something in here. You know, I can figure out when I can take a hit and when I can't. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so this time I'm going to go for a Recover, because I'm half, and I knew that the burn would take me down to about yellow. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so take the burn, I'm going to recover. I'm going to take the burn, do recover. So knockoff only does about 23%. I keep that in mind because it's going to go for knockoff and take out my life, or I'm sorry, my leftovers. So he's gonna Earthquake, or I'm gonna Earthquake, I'm sorry, and it's gonna do 16, which isn't enough. He's gonna play rough, I'm gonna go down to red, and I get that attack drop, which doesn't help at all. I recover back up, and then he goes for, I think, another play rough, which is just gonna drop my attack again. And I go for recover, I believe, on this one. And get 100%. And then I'm going to take the burn again. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I can either recover or I can Earthquake. So I believe I go for Earthquake and it does like 9% damage. I'm like, oh, why can't you just take the hit and go down? But then I'm remember, like I said, I get the attack drop. So then he's going to go out to his Hoop Unbound because it can do more damage to me. Go for recover, get back up in the green so I can take a hit. Again, okay, so what should I do now? Should I stop just playing these games and just take the defeat? I feel like I should. But I'm going to do one more recover and then get damage off, I believe, on this one. Nope, I actually do Scold. And this is where, like I said, I just was like, okay, I'm gonna go down, whatever. It doesn't matter. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for recover one more time just thinking I can live. I know. But at least I kept Gardevoir in my back pocket because at least it can take out, you know, 1 or 2 Mons. So Gardevoir comes out. I'm going to Hyper Voice because it's the strongest move I have. There it goes. Almost down. And he's going to go for Gunshot, which misses, which is awesome. And then I'm just going to go for Hyper Voice again. And there it goes. He's going to now go out to this Entei because it has extreme speed, and I already knew I was done. I was like, GG, you're good to go. And there we go. And I'm down. And he was like, you can turn this around. I'm like, no, I can't. Like, nah, I lost. But he did an awesome, you know, fight. It was definitely down to the wire. I definitely, you know, misclicked. Well, not misclicked. I just totally misplayed. With the Gengar, I misplayed with the Swellow, and like I said, it was a good match though. He did awesome, and congrats. I'll definitely see you next week at the PBA, in which, you know, we'll definitely try to get another win.